Finally. Where have you been? What have you been doing?
How are you, sir?
I miss you.
I miss you too.
It's been years.
No, I feel like it's been. A little bit.
It has been a bit. I think one of my books or something like that, but I have not been there in person in probably before the Troubles.
You know what? No, I like. You make it sound so nice. You know what I mean? There was like that. We had some troubles, but everything's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, you mean that gigantic, earth-shattering shared trauma we all went through? Yeah, that little thing.
We had some troubles. It's fine. No, but you know what I love? Well, a couple of things. Number one, I love that you're coming back to DC to do stand-up. But I love that when you're here to do stand-up, dude, you're filming your special here.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I had, they asked, my next Netflix special, where you want to do it. And last time I was through, I played at the Kennedy Center. And, my years of doing the Improv, which is one of the greatest clubs in the country, and then do things like in the outskirts and then the Kennedy Center. I was like, man, if we could pull off DC, that would be sweet. The audiences they're just the best. And we had an opening at the Warner Theater, so we're going to slide in there on June 15th.
Yeah, June 15th is the show. Tickets go on sale at 10 o'clock this morning. Hey, Tom, let me ask you this. Is that normal for a comedian where they'll go, hey, we want to do a special, like you're going to do a Netflix special or whatever it is. Does the comedian normally get to decide, or does it all kind of, does it have to be like the comedian, the production team, like a bunch of schedules have to meet up, or ultimately do you go, I'm Tom Papa, I'll decide where I'm doing it?
Yeah, well, for some comedians, they tell you what to do, but when you're as huge a star as I am.
Thank you.
And you could tell them who some of your famous friends are. You can really start throwing your weight around, and then they ask production if it would be okay, and then they let you do it.
Hey, Tom,
but it usually is a bit of a mix.
Are you a real routine guy? Like, I know, like, obviously the tour that you're doing, you've been out doing for a while. And you'll be doing the tour all the way up until June 15th when you tape the special.
Yes, sir.
And then June 15th you'll be at the Warner Theater, like we said. And that night will be different than all other nights because of the fact that you're taping it and it'll be for a special. Are you like a big routine guy? Does something like this, is it a weird change in your routine?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I am routine. I like to keep things very simple. And you're right. I mean, that is the biggest thing when you're shooting a special is, all right, this is just like the night, like 2 nights before, I think I'll be in like Pennsylvania or something, like the last set before the special. And I'll be in a theater and I'll be eating pretzels backstage and I'll have my little routine and go out and do my set and it'll be whatever. And when you're doing the special, it's like, how do I keep that feeling and that experience as close to what it is this whole tour for this year on this taping night when cameras are all of a sudden coming around and there's somebody there trying to do my hair and I've only got 3 strands left. It's like, how do you kind of block all of that out and make it as natural as possible? But it's hard, you're taping, I'll tour the whole year. Not once will I have makeup on. And then that night, there's going to be someone with a brush powdering my nose. And that's not normal. I don't know how you live, but I don't powder my nose.
Yeah, because I would think that has the tendency to just kind of throw things off a little bit.
Yeah, it does. But the other part of it, which is really cool, is it's so electric.
Right.
Everybody there knows that we're taping. They're going to be on Netflix. I'm going to be on Netflix. It's a fun night. It's like it's people travel because it's like, it's a big event. And it's that part, the electricity of it is like, we should do it. When I would do like late night shows like The Tonight Show or Conan or Letterman or whatever, I got great advice once from Jerry Seinfeld. And it's like the pressure isn't on this night when you're going out and doing this set. You've already hit the home run. You've already done the work. You've hit the home run. Now you're just running around the bases. The ball is over the wall, and now you get to just run around the bases, wave to people, and have your buddies meet you at home plate. And that advice is really, it's really true. You've done it. The set is great. You're already done. Now just don't act like an ass. I have to figure out, and I'm going to ask you guys this question.
Okay.
You see a lot of stand-up. You're friends of comedians. That's why all the comedians love you. At the beginning of the special, when you first come out, what do you like to see? Do you like when the comedian comes out and is like cheering and running around the stage like I'm great? Do you like when they just come up and don't really, they kind of low roll it? Like the beginning, I'm kind of like against the I'm great and you guys are all here standing up and going nuts.
Take your shirt off.
Yeah. Thank God Bert did that, so I don't have to.
No, I mean, let me ask you this. 2 nights before, and then let's start here, and then I'll answer the question. 2 nights before, when you're in Pennsylvania, and whoever introduces you, whoever the voices will go, like, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tom Papa. And then you'll walk out from behind the curtain or whatever it is at that theater. What do you do when you walk up to the microphone then?
I kind of walk out a little slowly, peek into where the spotlight is, like kind of lean in. Then they get the first glimpse of that I'm on the stage. And then, I have been going a little smaller with it. Yeah.
So
I'll come over. You got to kind of let it ride out.
Yeah. So do that. Yeah. Now, but I thought you were going to say, do I like, if I'm watching a special, do I like when the comedian mentions where they are, whether it's at the beginning or, well, that's key, or during the show. But like, I always do like hearing where it's being done. Because, like, in some cases, like, I haven't been to every city in America, but, like, sometimes it's cool when it is, like, whether it's Boston or Nashville or out west or something, where there's something that connects, because I'm watching it, I think it's funny. Those people are there watching it, they think it's funny. But then if it's something here, like Taylor Tomlinson taped her special in D.C., and she mentioned D.C., well, then I kind of feel like, this is awesome. This is my city. This is my town. Look, there's my guy doing it. So I kind of like it. I like it both ways, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I do like setting the table with that. I do like mentioning the city because it really, you only get to do a handful of specials in your career. And when you pick a place, it's because you genuinely really do love that city. So that part, like letting everybody know, even like, if I do any kind of filming beforehand, I like to kind of, film little spots around town, that kind of a thing, like at the beginning or the end of it. And, by the time the special comes out, it'll probably be a month or two before the election. So I'm sure people are going to love talking about Washington, D.C. by that point. They're just going to, please tell me more.
Now, I hate to sound stupid, because if this is well known and I don't know this already, I'm going to feel really dumb. But when you do your special here, I know that Rob Zombie has produced like your specials in the past. Is he going to be here with you? Like, is he not doing this special?
Rob's not doing this one. He's out on tour doing his thing. I've got Troy Miller, who's this legendary comedy director. I just did this special project, which I can't really talk about too much, with me and Brian Regan, and Troy was the director of it, and we just hit it off. So he's going to be the director. So he'll be there. Like already, we're like looking at the Warner Theater and figuring, it's such a beautiful theater. So we're figuring out like all the shots of like, how do we get the proscenium in and the backstage and all that kind of stuff.
Hey,
and he also, I think he did Brian's there. He did George Lopez's there. And now I get to do it.
And now he does a real one. Now he does somebody like those were the warm ups, and now we're ready. Now we're ready.
Now he's in the big time. Welcome to the big time.
You know what, Tom? You know what I don't think I realized though in knowing that you and Zombie had worked together. I don't think I realized that the two of you met at like some destination wedding where you were both guests of the wedding.
It was so perfect. I mean, if you want to bond with a rock star, get invited to a wedding that you have to travel to. Because whenever you go to those kind of, and when you don't really know everybody else there, that's the key. It's like if you're family, you know, you're really into it. But if you're like an outer electron friend where you get invited but you don't really know everybody, you need someone else that you can sit in the back of the room and mock everybody with. You know what I mean? You got to be like, who's that old lady trying to dance over there? And that guy's an alcoholic. And you need that ally. And I walked into the room and I didn't know anybody but my wife. And I saw Rob and I just went up and made a joke to Rob and he made a joke back. And that was it. The rest of the weekend was just him and I ripping the wedding apart.
That's awesome.
We've been good friends ever since.
That's awesome. Hey, I want to go back to something that I don't think I've talked to you since your last book came out. Your book of essays. We're all in this together. Which again it's a collection of essays. It's a collection of your stories. All of them very funny. I mean, you are a comedian, so I mean the stories are good. But you know which one I really, really loved? I love the one where you go swimming at the in-ground pool of the woman who's friends with your grandmother.
Yeah. That one, people mention that one a lot off of this book. It's funny, you do these books and there's like a couple essays that just pop and I don't really see them coming. You know, I'm like, I don't know which one people are going to like. That one people really like. That was, what did you like about it? That I pooped my pants?
Well, okay. Well, way to go right to the punchline. No, you know what? I can tell you exactly what it is, Tom, is that when I see you or whenever you come in here, you come across to me as a very, I don't want to say straight laced, like that's not what I mean, but like you always look professional, you act professional. I would say that I find you to be I find you to be
together.
Well, yes, you are put together. No, but like you're an optimistic person. You're like the first one to go like, we all aren't going to agree with each other, but we can be decent human beings with each other and we'll get through this. And because you're a comedian, that there's always like there's always some kind of fun or funny around you. So what I kind of liked reading was, well, first of all, I thought it was sweet that like your grandmother's taking you and it's an in-ground pool and like that's rich and royal and everything that goes along with it in Jersey. But then you start reading about, I had no idea, like as a kid, you talked about like all the anxiety you had, like beyond anxiety. I don't see that as ever being a part of you, just knowing, and listen, you and I aren't hanging out at destination weddings making fun of the couple. But I don't.
Not yet.
But I don't see that part. And you talk about like as a kid, and it came from your parents of just having this unbelievable anxiety where everything can go wrong and wetting the bed, like just on and on. I don't see that side of you at all.
Yeah, well, I think it's a lifetime of trying to kind of get a hold of it. I think we all have it, you know. I think we're all. It's kind of like the old man kind of thing I have now, when like my kids or younger generations are all talk about anxiety like it's new, like they're the first ones to have it. It was like, dude, I was wet in the bed till I was 6 years old. I was terrified. My father was so panicked. Anytime we would go anywhere, my father would park, like I live in New Jersey, and we'd go to New York City, and we would park, and my father would be looking at the sign in a sweat and just yelling at my mother, like, they're going to tow us. I know they're going to tow us. And I'm 7 years old, like, we're never going to get back home to New Jersey. They're going to take our car. So I was a basket case. I really was. I was very nervous. I was very scared. And I think that we kind of all have that. I think we all, and in that, I think the reason that that essay resonates, there's nothing more heartbreaking when you have a young person trying to be brave. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like trying their best not to cry. Oh, that's so much worse than seeing them cry. Or seeing in that essay when I'm in the pool and I'm by myself and I can't believe I'm going to be in this pool, but I'm scared. It's a big, dark pool, and it's early morning, and it's kind of cool out. And I'm like, and I muster up the strength to dive into the pool by myself. And I'm like so proud of myself that I'm actually, despite being scared and that I might drown, I'm going to jump in this pool, and I do it. And then as soon as I hit the ice cold water, my body freaks out and I crap my pants. And it's so sad because then now the rest of the essay is me trying to figure it out and trying to tell my grandmother I need to go home and trying to toss my bathing suit into the woods.
By the way,
but
I love that you say you mustered up the strength because you were afraid that if you jumped in the pool you would drown. You were afraid your hand was going to get stuck in the filter of the pool and pull you under.
Yeah, I mean, any scenario. I was very nervous, kid. I was very nervous. And look, to be honest, like when you say that you see me now and you feel like, oh, I'm never, like I'm together and cool and all that. Yeah, to a degree, you know, I've learned that through my life, but I'm still, you know, as much as I'm on the road all the time, I still get nervous going through security. I still get a little nervous that the car's not going to be there. I still worry. It's a lifelong struggle to kind of be cool. And it may look it on the outside, but inside I'm like,
Hey, I want to go back to something that you mentioned a little bit ago. And I know you said like you can't really say much, but I heard you mention something in passing a week or so ago. When you mentioned Brian Regan, is that the pilot thing you can't talk about?
Yeah. Brian and I are working on a little project together, and they're going out and trying to get it sold now.
Do you think
Brian?
Oh, Brian's great. Brian's awesome.
Brian's great, and it was his idea for this project, and you know I've loved him forever, and he's just an inspiring comedian. And then he called me and said, I have this project, I have this idea, it's a little weird, it's going to be funny, and I want you to be the center of it. And I was like, wow, this is why I love comedy. Yeah, because you grow up, it's the same thing when I would open for Seinfeld. It's like, only in comedy could you sit and watch somebody and they make you laugh and you idolize them. And then at a certain point, they call you on the phone and ask you to do something. I'm like, this is the greatest career in the history of show business.
Hey, Tom, can I ask you kind of a nerdy comedy question, if you don't mind?
Please.
Did you ever play the Just for Laughs festival in Montreal?
Yeah, every year.
Is it a shame that that's gone?
Yeah, I hope it's not gone. I hope it's just gone for this year. But yeah, it's a terrible shame. I was talking, you know, I do my radio show on Sirius XM with Fortune Feimster.
Right.
And Fortune and we couldn't stop talking about it the other day because the greatest thing about that special is it's like a summer camp for comedians. And, you know, every week I'm out doing something. Brian Regan's in another city. Fortune's in another city. We never get to hang out. You never get to cross paths because you're all doing your headlining thing somewhere, except for the Just for Laughs festival, when we would all come to Montreal. You're away from whatever obligations you have at home, and you get to just hang out, do your shows, and then meet up at the bar after with all the greatest comedians, young up-and-coming comics. And when you were young, you got to be a part of it, and now we're headliners, and you get to hang out with the younger people. And it's just it's literally, and it's in the summer, it's July, so it literally feels like a summer camp.
Right.
And we were both going to go this year, and I've gone, I think 20 times. I hope that it's just this temporary thing where they're getting their financial house in order, and, after COVID and all of that, and that it comes back. If it doesn't, it would be a real shame.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, you would listen, obviously I've never been, but just the stories that would come out of there, or just to hear comics talk about, like you said, whether it's like somebody up and coming and just getting to be around it. It seemed like, yes, it's great because it's, for the people of Montreal, it's awesome. You get all the biggest comics in the world and up and coming stars, but it just seemed like such a special, if you love comedy, it just seemed like such a special place to kind of like eavesdrop and be a voyeur of.
Just that you're saying that, like, you have never been, my first instinct is, you've got to come. Like, all these comics. You would have a blast. You go out for great meals. We go hang out, and that possibly would go away it's almost inconceivable. I think it has to come back. And when it does come back, I'm going to make you go.
Oh, I would love to. I would love to.
You would love it. Honestly, you would love it.
Tom, last thing, and then I'll let you jump because I know I'm running late.
Okay.
I saw a video you did, and I loved it because I want to put myself through the same exercise that you got put through. But you were asked, I want to make sure, if you could be any athlete at any time. And I know you're a Yankees guy. I'm a Yankees guy also. But I loved your answer of Reggie Jackson. And the exercise was great. I can't figure it out on my own, but God, did I love that exercise and that you had that answer.
Why did you like it so much?
Because it's so accurate. On one side, you're Reggie Jackson at that time, and I'll even try to escape my being a Yankee fan. But you're Mr. October. You're jacking home runs. You're parading around the bases. You're winning the World Series. Literally, you're the face of baseball, which I love. Mm-hmm. And then on the other side, you have a manager that wants to mother F you to death, is screaming at you, spitting in your face, but he can't do anything about it because you're the face of baseball.
Yeah, it was the coolest. Yeah, because you just got a Reggie bar.
Yeah.
Just hit the 7-Eleven. Yeah. I was a Yankee fan at that time, like as a kid. And that's when I was like really falling in love with it all. And just to see him swagger around, it was just like, as a kid, you're like, oh, he's the greatest. And then you see his manager yelling at him in the dugout. You're like, wait a minute, I've never seen this before. And then he would prevail was just, so awesome.
It was great. All right. Yeah. Tom Papa will be at the Warner Theater June 15th. It's the Good Stuff Tour, taping for Netflix, so it'll be taped that night. Tickets go on sale 10 o'clock this morning through Live Nation. Tom, I appreciate the time. I hope the show sells out today, and I can't wait to see you when you get to town.
You're the best. I love you guys. And if I have time around it, I'll try and stop by the studio for sure.
Appreciate it. Look forward to it. Thanks, Tom.